Hello and welcome to the fourth vlog here of Ding Dong Weight Gone. Something different for you this evening. I'd like to introduce Dr. Talib Abubakar, who's going to give us from the medical side of the weight loss.
Simon, thank you very much for inviting me. I jumped at the chance to come and chat to you and be involved with this because I think it's a fantastic idea. And I've been really impressed with what you've achieved, like all of your friends have. As you know, I'm a GP in Luton for 20 odd years now. And I see lots of people struggling with their weight. Most of them want to lose weight, just seem to get stuck or do well and then start to fall back again. And I guess the sessions today is about the health benefits of losing weight.
So we're here just seeing a picture of me in 2013, and I was still doing the same workload I am now, teaching and gigging, and crikey, and just asking Dr. Abubakar what difference that was having on my cardiovascular.
It does make me smile, Simon, looking at that picture, 2013, because I think I did know you then. You were still teaching my kids trumpet at that stage. It still is. You are 80 kilograms overweight there, more than what you are now. That's what I weigh. You were carrying me about wherever you went, up, downstairs, with your trumpet, with your bass or whatever you were carrying, everything. And 13 stone, 80 kilograms you were carrying me about. So it doesn't take much of a genius to work out what my blood pressure would be doing if you were carrying me. What your blood pressure would be doing, what your heart, how hard that would be working, what your veins in your legs are doing, what your arteries in your legs are doing with that much extra weight. Carry me not just for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So in simple terms, a lot of effort is being put through your heart, a lot of strain is being put through your heart. What I'd like to touch on is what damage, if you stayed as you were, what would be happening onwards. And there's a thing called metabolic syndrome, which a lot of people don't know of, but in the medical field it's quite well known. And it's like a spectrum from being overweight, has a knock-on effect on blood pressure, which starts to increase, has a knock-on effect on your blood vessels, which then starts to give you heart disease and strokes, which then has a knock-on effect on things like diabetes, which then makes things worse and it goes in a bit of a cycle. So if you don't mind, I'll just touch on that because I think it'd be quite useful for your viewers to hear about that and what they can do about it. If you can imagine the body, when it eats, it's eating for energy. It wants to provide energy to all your cells of your body, from your toes to your heart, to your kidneys, to your eyes, to your hair. Everything needs energy. So we eat to have energy. And for an average man, you're looking at about 2,000 calories for an average day. For a woman, it's about 1,800. Okay. So when you eat, we are designed to farm for our food, to hunt for food, and be very active. Well, we can get loads of calories without being active now. We don't. We drive everywhere. We sit in our little boxes, type on our little boxes, watch our little boxes, sit in little boxes. Everything's done in such a short, small space, and we don't exert that energy. So if you can imagine, we're putting all this energy into our body. It goes into the bloodstream. The bloodstream's got no storage facility, so it says, well, I only need 3,000, 2,000 calories, say. What am I going to do with the rest? It needs to store it somewhere. Initially, it'll say, right, I'll put a little bit into a place called where I can store it, called glycogen, which is very healthy. But the majority of it throws about 80% towards the muscles. The muscle has no storage facility. All it does is burn it off by exercising. Well, if we're not exercising, and I'm not sure how much exercise you were doing back in 2013, your muscle's thinking, whoa, I've got 80% of all this extra energy. What do I do with it? He's not moving, he's not exercising. Sod that for a lot, I'm going to throw it back to the liver. And the liver then has to work out what to do with this extra energy, because you can't keep it in the bloodstream. So the liver's looking at this extra energy thinking, oh my goodness, what am I going to do with this? I know what, I'm going to start making cholesterol. I can stick the cholesterol, that can store it in the bloodstream, so the cholesterol levels start to go up. Or I can't store it all in the bloodstream, I'll start making fat cells, so the fat cell starts increasing. For some of us and different ethnic groups, for Asians for example, we start putting it around our stomach first. For Caucasians, they might start putting it on their arms. But at the end of the day, the liver will find fat cells to go anywhere. The problem is it starts to go around the heart, it starts to go around the blood vessels, it starts to going around your kidneys, starts going around your liver, your brain. So everything starts to get clogged up. Yeah. Then what happens as that starts to get clogged up? There's something called receptors where insulin. You need insulin to help the sugar go from the blood into the cells.
Yeah.
Those receptors where the insulin work get clogged up as well. So guess what happens? The pancreas suddenly thinks, well, the sugar's not going, I better push out more insulin. Starts to push out the insulin, and then it suddenly starts to give up, says, I've got this, I can't do anything about this. I'm still putting more weight on, the receptors are blocking up, I can't do any more. So the insulin level starts to drop. And if your insulin level starts to drop, if anyone's done basic biology, guess what happens? Your sugar levels start to rise, which then gives you diabetes. And the problem with diabetes is your blood vessels don't like sugar. It starts to damage the blood vessels. So the blood vessels start to get damaged, the insulin level starts to go down, start to get diabetes, which then pushes up your blood pressure. Blood pressure damages your blood vessels even more, which then makes it frayed, and then guess what? The cholesterol that your liver's made to store starts to clog up. Your blood vessel, instead of being nice and thick, starts to narrow, and then one day it closes, and guess what happens?
Heart attack.
Heart attack,
Yeah.
stroke, kidney disease, eye problems. And that, in a sense, is then you become cyclical.
Yeah.
You carry on eating, energy levels still stay up, produce more fat, clogs up even more, and you go round and round and round. So you can see it's not pretty good for your heart.
Definitely not.
No. The good news, though, in your case, you stopped and changed before you got round to this bit where it started doing real damage, i.e. heart attacks and diabetes. You've actually stopped it at this stage. And now, because you're exercising and watching what you're eating and reducing the amount of energy you're putting in, the liver's not having to work hard, it's not having to make all the extra fat, it's not having to make the cholesterol, so you're not at risk of getting diabetes and heart disease. Your risk has gone right down. So you're now turning that circle back. And the good news, certainly for our viewers, I've seen patients of mine who've done similar to what you've done, not to the extent you have, but even losing 2 or 3 stones, I've had to take them off their blood pressure tablets. I've had to take them off their diabetic tablets, or reduce them down at least, because this circle's moving up this way, and the damage is not happening, and they're actually doing it themselves, and the medication I'm having to give them is getting less and less, and some have actually had to stop, which is fantastic.
Yeah.